For many years now, Russ and Craig have had many wide-ranging conversations with folks from all over the gaming world. This is one of those conversations.
D6G, the Lost Chapter.
Hey, Raef, so it's good to see you again at Dunks, man. What are you drinking tonight?
Thank you. I'm having my medium hot decaf, skim milk, and sugar.
Nice. Craig, what do you have?
How about you?
I am having water. I am on a big diet.
I'm really excited because
holidays.
I'm on a diet too, but I've been rationing my calories for coming into Dunks today because my absolutely favorite coffee beverage, which was invented by Starbucks, the first place I ever had it, which is the eggnog latte.
Ooh.
Oh my
is
gosh.
now available here at Dunkin' Donuts. Now, the problem with eggnog lattes is that eggnog is one of the highest calorie beverages per, quarter cup there is in the planet. So you got to really ration your eggnog consumption. But that's why it's best with just a little bit mixed into your coffee as opposed to an entire glass of eggnog, which is like 600 calories.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's good. I like it. So I highly recommend it. Dunks has it now, so it's a little more affordable. Instead of paying $5 for a coffee, you can pay $3, which is kind of nice. So while we enjoy our holiday, you know what I like to do at the end of the year? We're enjoying our holiday beverages here. Sometimes it's kind of fun to look back.
Your pants?
What's that?
You like to put your hand in your belt pants there?
Sometimes like Al Bundy, it's kind of
Yeah, like that.
Well, I do that. I lean back, put my hand in my pants, drink a nice eggnog latte, and think about the year in review from a gaming point of view. Like, what games came out this year? What were we playing? Like, not only what came out this year, but what were we playing in the beginning of January of 2013? This one year, how have the games been playing sort of morphed throughout the year? What do you guys think of that?
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
Sort of a 2013 retrospective.
Exactly
if you will.
right. So what? So here we go. So what I've done is I've gone to Board Game Geek and I've run a little query here and showing all the games I've played in reverse chronological order. No, in chronological order from January 2013 through this week. And I figured it'd be fun to go through and look at the ones we're playing and talk about. Let's see. So I'm going to start at the very beginning here. We can talk about what's still around, what we've been playing. So one of the ones right at the beginning of the year, the DC comic deck building game was pretty hot.
Oh, yeah.
That had come out at Gen Con 2012, right? And was hot right around then. Raef, did you play this one at all?
Yes.
Now, what did you think about it?
No, I'm getting that confused by the Marvel Legendary.
Not Legendary.
No, I did not
This
play
is
the DC deck building one.
Craig, did you play this one at all?
That would be a negative Ghost Rider.
Negative.
I would not touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, so I played it. Our friend Joel introduced it to me.
Craig, don't you mean like a 39.5-foot pole?
Yes, I think a 10-foot pole is. I was just trying to be nice.
I didn't really love it. It was okay. What I didn't like about it was that the superpowers don't necessarily map to the same hero. So you can put heat vision on Batman.
That's weird.
Which is sort of weird. So I didn't totally dig it. Do our friends still play this one a lot, or is that was it a flash in the pan thing?
I don't remember ever having seen it.
Yeah, it didn't. It never got. I think Legendary is the preferred card game.
Yeah,
I think that is true.
Now I also got to play around that time. Let's see. Oh, I played the new Game of Thrones second edition. That had just come out around then, I think. What do you guys have? You played that much lately, Craig?
I have not. I have wanted to on several occasions. I did enjoy it a lot. It just has never come out since we reviewed it or talked about it or played it. I can't remember. Did we review it?
I don't know if we did a detailed review of the new version. We might have. We might have just talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Raef, have you played the new version yet?
No, I haven't even seen it. But I remember Josh was the big one that liked that game, and
I like the new version a lot. It's good. Yeah, it's got the little player screens. I like any games that gives me little camps, like a little zone of control, my little area, and it's got the little screens.
Wait a minute. I'm thinking the card game. This is the board game.
This is the board game. Yeah, the reboot.
Yeah.
I've
seen that played.
Yeah.
Looked really fun too. Doc and Rodney from Watch It played, and a whole bunch of us. Man, I can't remember what combat was, but they were all playing. It looked like a blast.
Yep. No, I like that one a lot. So then, let's see. So that's a good, and I like that.
And no, we did not review the second edition of that.
And I haven't seen it played a lot lately because it's kind of a heavy game, but it does come out once in a while. So it's a good game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then,
I think the reason we didn't review it is that it looks exactly. I mean, it plays almost exactly like the original with tweaks, and it includes all the expansions.
Yes, so it's very close.
It was
to the
basically cleaning it up and putting all the expansions in one box.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then we had played some Infinity. So we were just talking about Infinity and our predictions here. We're coming up, actually. I'm getting my time stream mixed up.
Yes, once again. And Eddie in the time-space continuum sucks us in for a moment, right into the couch.
So Infinity was still very hot amongst the three of us, or at least Craig and I, at this point.
Yes. This would be the point where I spent over $400 on Infinity.
Ooh, yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, on a game that you're only supposed to have 10 models a game. Yeah, that was good plan, Craig. Good plan. How'd that work out for you? Yeah.
Well, so I think there's still a group of guys that are pretty hardcore into it in our local gaming group.
There is, and I would like to try it again with the right people, which is probably almost no one, but like people who are willing to play small games without a lot of the special rules. I think it's a great idea. I think it bogs itself down in so much detail and rock, paper, scissors that I don't think I could ever play it like in an open atmosphere where I would just walk in and say, hey, who wants to play? Not that I do that anyway. But even in our little central core of friends gaming group, I don't think I could walk in and just play anybody who wanted to play, because most of the guys who know the game know the whole meta game way better than I do also. And oh yeah, well, you need 3 of those and 2 of those, and oh, and I can do this and I can hack that and that, and there's just the game has so many moving parts when everything is working at the same time that I just don't think I could play at that level at all.
Agreed.
Yeah, this game doesn't hold sway over me for some reason. It's too granular maybe, or I don't like the D20. I'm not sure. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying for me it just doesn't catch my fancy.
Hey, I wish it hadn't caught my fancy.
So basically the three of us have moved. I still have my Infinity models, and I still am interested, but I don't. It's not on my regular playlist right now.
Yeah, I painted all my models,
and it was much
I have all this
hotter for me
terrain, and no.
Now, Space Cadets. We played. This is the original version of Space Cadets. I played it again in January of last year.
Yep.
I think we'd had it for a little bit around here, so it's kind of still getting played. I still own my copy. I still like Space Cadets. Craig, have you played much Space Cadets?
I have not. Since we reviewed it, I didn't play it. Yeah. And I will admit that, as we've discussed on the big show, that I believe that Space Cadets Dice Duel Jones ruled Space Cadets out of any collection that I might have put it in.
Yes. So, yeah, I think the Dice version does everything that I liked about the original Space Cadets. Faster. And actually more intense feeling.
Yeah, and that's the key. I mean, if I was still... if the thing is, how often are you going to be at a party where 9 people are willing to play a quote-unquote space game,
right?
But they don't want to play a real board game kind of thing.
Right.
So it's like it's kind of skirts a gray issue area, whereas Dice Duel, I just think it sort of kind of like hits all the same basic spots, but does it in a cooler way that's much faster and more intense.
Yeah. All right. So then also we played Dreadball, Craig. Do you remember this? So our friend Will got all the Dreadball stuff from the Kickstarter.
Yeah. Also known as Kickstarter Anonymous.
Kickstarter Urban, yes. So we have... We had this is when it all came out. So Will decided to run.
I'm confused what this one is again. Is this the one that's like
Dreadball? Is a game from the company,
the GW one?
No, it's not by Games Workshop. It's by a company called Mantic Games. You know them and love them because they make dwarves, right? They also made a great.
Is this the one with the big round ball like Privateer Press made?
No. It's a sci-fi sports game. So imagine sci-fi football, but not football because you can throw the balls into holes in the walls.
I actually want to play
that. It closely. It doesn't borrow mechanics from Blood Bowl at all, but it feels a little bit like Blood Bowl in terms of its tactics and how it sort of plays out. I enjoyed playing it, and Will
did not.
Will got everybody excited there, and then promptly gave away all his assembled models as prizes for the event.
Yes.
And that made it hard because then when the next week when people wanted to follow up and play with him, he'd given away all his models, and he never got into building more. And my biggest problem with Dreadball, and we get a lot. I must get emails and tweets at us at least 3 or 4 times a month asking when we're going to review Dreadball.
Oh, really?
We're not.
Yes. And it's not that Dreadball's a bad game. It's just that I went in one day I liked the game enough to almost buy it. But the price point is just a little high for what it is. Mm-hmm. And also, the board and stuff, I'd really rather have the cool plastic board, and really to get it going, it's going to be a very expensive proposition.
Yeah.
And so every time I go back to think about it, I really would like a lighter, faster version of a sports game. And that's when something like a Chaos Ball Kickstarter happened and I got distracted. So right now for me, this isn't really on my radar right now. If someone was to have a set and to convince me to play it enough with me to get me, I'd play it to get to the point where I could get into it like I get into Blood Bowl. But right now it's just a little too heavy and it's a little too pricey for what you get in the box for my personal taste.
And personally, I did not enjoy myself.
And you didn't enjoy it at all, Craig.
No, I did.
But you don't like Blood Bowl anyway, right? So that's not your thing.
No,
either.
no, yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. Right. It's just not. I don't like sports games in general.
Yep.
Which is why Chaos Ball catching my eye was bizarre. But yeah, but Dread Ball did not. Yeah. I did not enjoy myself.
So, Rafe, have you played Dread Ball at all?
No, I want to. Though I want to try it, or either that or I'm confusing it with Chaos Ball. No, Dread Ball. I want to try Dread Ball because Dave owns it.
I don't think you. Yes, Dave owns it and has the board, and
But the funny thing is, we've never seen any of the guys. Here's what makes me nervous about it too. We had quite a few guys who are hardcore Blood Bowl fans back the Kickstarter and get the game, and I have, except for that one day that Will brought it all in, I have never seen anyone at Myriad Games playing Dread Ball.
They all talk about it every now and then.
They talk about it, but they never talk about playing it at home even, or I've set it up and played it. They talk about the stuff. They talk about the new Kickstarter that came out with more teams. They talked about that, but I've never seen it played except for that one event Will ran. Right. So that makes me nervous also.
I know, isn't that weird?
So it doesn't have a lot of traction with anyone, and I'm not sure why. But that's happened with so far. I mean, I don't want to pick on Mantic, but every one of Mantic's games I've seen that result with them. I don't know what they're missing, but like both their sci-fi game, their fantasy game, their dungeon crawling game, and their Dread Ball, I see that all locally. I'm sure people are going to write in and tell me, no, we are our group. We play them all the time. I just don't see the traction. I don't know why, but I don't.
Right. No.
I think that's probably a reflection of our group because I think the original Mantic, I haven't checked it recently, but mission was to make super cool models to be played with GW.
Right.
And then they probably were like, well, we can't be a miniature game company with our own set of rules, so they kind of made their own set of rules. So I'm not sure that really and I know Alessio Cavatore, who I think is a brilliant rules writer, wrote the rules.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just interesting. I don't know. I mean, I haven't played them enough to be able to be critical about it one way or the other. I'm just observing. All right, here's one you might have played, Rafe, which is Archipelago.
No, I missed out on that one. So that's the one with the sinking sand?
No, this is a Euro where you it's been forever. I played with Jeremy back then in January, and it was a really interesting sort of economic trading ship moving game. I enjoyed it. I liked the components. It was fun, but it wasn't distinct enough from other worker placement / Euro games to really catch my eye.
To stand out and make you want to do it.
Now, it was also about this time that I started up my first really long-term Descent 2 campaign. And I played that right through to completion. We had a good group. We started in January, bashed through it, and got it done in June. And we had an absolute blast. And I started another Descent 2 campaign this fall, and we had one of our players go to school, so we had to kind of put it on pause. But we just talked about it yesterday. We're going to try to start up again in January. So still loving Descent 2. It's still one of my favorite dungeon crawls. I bought all the new lieutenants that have come out, so I'm still adding to my collection on that game. I just love it. It's my sort of guilty pleasure of I have all the bits game, and it's just cool, and I have everything, and it's fun. So I don't know. Have you guys played any Descent 2 at all lately, or Descent in general?
Yep.
I played like 2 games of Descent 2, and none of the people that I was trying to put together a campaign with liked it, and so nothing ever happened, and it went nowhere. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but no one I played with seemed to enjoy it, so it all fell apart.
Rafe, how about you?
Yeah, I played a bunch of it, actually. I played it for a bunch of people out here in Portsmouth. They really liked it. I sort of became disillusioned as the game master, convinced that you can't play. I can't win, I mean. Of course, I know I'm not the greatest tactician, but when I handed the reins over to Andy, he was like, yeah, that's pretty much a challenge, fighting one brain against 4 brains when they have unlimited time. But then I also play it with my son and my nephews, but we don't play it like Descent. We play all the rules of Descent, but but they play it like a dungeon crawl. So I'm not really trying to beat them. I'm just trying to give them a good fight because they just like to run around, kill monsters, and get treasure.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think it's good, and I'm hopeful the lieutenants will add a little more power to the overlord and give them some options tactically. So we'll see. But I'm still enjoying it.
Have you read the new rules and all that?
I haven't read the new. I've gotten the 2 expansions. So I have the new campaign. I have the new, but I haven't read through the lieutenant rules.
The
yet.
lieutenants don't work the way I want them to work. It's like I can't even explain it. But yeah, you'd think they just kind of increase. I guess they do. I don't know. I'd be curious if you could read it and see if you think it's going to make a difference. So when I read it, I'm like, this isn't going to make a hill's beans worth of difference.
I read it as like when the dragon, if they do certain things, different lieutenants generate threat. So like if the dragon, if the heroes finish a dungeon with the dragon for every search token they leave on the table, basically loot they leave behind, you get threat for your dragon. And when your dragon reaches a certain number of threat, you can bring him into another scenario.
Yeah, that looked cool, but like the earning a threat looked difficult.
It depends on the lieutenant. They all learn them different ways.
Oh, okay.
Thing. All right, so that's the Descent. Now, also near February-ish, we had Sedition Wars. And I played a lot of Sedition Wars. I played almost every other week. Now, my friend Josh, who also has Sedition Wars, he's had trouble getting to the store lately, so I haven't really played it much since spring.
Is that a board game? What is that?
Sedition Wars is by Cool Mini or Not. It is basically it's a game where there's 2 factions. There are space humans, like space marine type dudes, and there are all kinds of infected creatures. And you got really interesting resource mechanics. The biggest problem with this game is that the tiles warped. That was my big bugaboo about it when it first came out. And it still bothers me aesthetically. The tiles warp to the point where the miniatures slide around a little bit on them. I don't like it. So I've been really looking for an alternative way to play on a surface that doesn't require these particular tiles. And I've got a couple Kickstarters I backed that have cool tiles coming to me, so I'm looking forward to that. I haven't played in a while, but because the one other person that really likes the game hasn't been around lately, but we have talked about starting it up again because we both really like the game. So it's still in my collection. I'm still looking forward to playing it more. I do like the updated mechanics. They redid some of the mechanics this summer. I like those as well. So it's still a game I'm looking at, and the models are freaking awesome. I love the models. So I've been really happy with that. You guys played it all since you? Yeah. I think I showed it.
Not since we reviewed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it just never stuck with me.
Another game I played back then was Clash of Cultures. You guys try that at all?
Nope.
Oh, that's a good one.
Didn't we review that?
We did. I think we did. Yes. And also, I like Clash of Cultures because Randy's all into it now too, and I got a couple people that are into it. I really like Clash of Cultures a lot. So
yeah,
that was good stuff. This is about the time, Craig, you got into Perduto.
Perudo, you mean?
Perudo. Liar's Dice? Isn't that Perduto?
Yeah, Perudo.
Is it Perudo? I thought it was Perduto.
It's Perudo. No, it's not Perdito.
Perdito
would be
like
Perdita's brother.
Oh, all right.
Long lost brother.
Yep.
No, Perudo,
which is stuck with you. You still play that game all the time.
It's a great.
That might be the game that actually beats Dungeon Roll to be your most played game of the year. So that might break that.
The only reason I think that I'm still okay with the Dungeon Roll thing is because I said top 3, but I think Perudo probably was the number 1.
All right, there you go.
It's just a lot of fun. It's light. It's fast. It's social. It's bluffing. It's really cool, really fun with friends. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking at my Perudo set right now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I haven't yet played it yet.
Oh, it's fun. You'd love it.
I know. I can tell from you guys playing, I'd like it.
Now, let's see. Also, in February, we got into.
Oh my God, we're only into February.
Yes, we got into Article 27. Do you remember Article 27, Craig?
Yes.
That was pretty fun.
I never played it. I always wish I had. And
I have, and I brought it out at family events. It's a good casual game as well as a good gamer game. I highly recommend it to have it around. It also plays a higher number of players. And what's that? Article 27. So it's the UN resolution game. It's by Stronghold Games. And basically you each play a UN representative. And what's cool about it is you try to persuade everyone to vote a certain way. And you can lobby on little areas in front of them and lock in certain things. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. And again, it's very casual. It's easy to teach. Tricky to master. And after one playthrough, you're going to want to play it again because now you're ready to really make it work. So I like it. And it plays fast, and it's got a high player count. So it's all those things. I like it a lot.
Okay.
Let's see. Moving on. So now it thins out a little bit because now the New Year stuff kind of goes away, and we're getting into the middle of the year. This is, what's funny, Craig, though, is about, I think, March was when Dungeon Command returned.
Oh, yes.
This is when we sort of
you guys went nuts over
Dungeon
that.
Command was out for a while, and I started playing with my kids, and I realized it was awesome. And so Craig and I started playing it, and we both realized it was awesome, and then everybody in the store realized it was awesome, and we all started playing Dungeon Command like crazy. Do you remember this?
How come it's not being played anymore?
It's been a while, but we are very passionate about it. When's the last time you played it, Craig?
I mean, I don't know. It's been months since I last played, but I brought it with me to Gen Con. I didn't play it, but I had every anticipation of playing it, and I brought it with me. And I believe, and yes, I played it at Adepticon. I still like it. I still have it, like right on my shelf near my car, so I can throw it right in the trunk. It never became the cool go-to game on the weekend or on Tuesdays, but there was like a month where because it's fast enough. It was one of the games that got played regularly for a while.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So yeah, I like it. It's fun, and I still have. It's almost always in my trunk too, Craig. And my daughter likes it too, so we play it also pretty often. Now, also this time, end of March is when PAX came out, and so I got City of Remnants at PAX. I don't know if you guys even remember this game, but
Nope.
I've only played it a handful of times this year, but I do like it. This is the one where it's gangs fighting in a city, but you also build up the buildings in the city. So it's got two things going on. It's got a nice combat system, and it's area control. You're trying to take over zones of the city, but then also you build buildings up, and you have development. So it's kind of like a building game and an economy building game, but you also are fighting, and then you can capture someone else's buildings as well. I like it a lot. I would like to play it more, actually. I look at it once on my shelf, like, I got to bring this back to the store. It's a really nice game, really unique feel, not hard to teach, and it's got a lot of replayability. So I like that one quite a bit. But I have to admit, I played it back then a few times, and I think I played it one time this summer, and it's been a little while since then, but definitely would happy to get that to the table again. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, also at PAX was the first time I played The Duke. Now, this game has taken off like crazy. Have you guys seen The Duke? This is like huge now.
I've seen it.
I played it at
Game scares me.
I played it at PAX. I fell in love with it at PAX. I wish I'd kickstarted it. And then I went home and I bought my copy. And I have played this game quite a bit. Both my girls like it. I literally just played it again yesterday. I know David Farr really likes it, of the Nerd Herders. He plays it all the time. We got a lot of people now that play it. We saw Rich and Christian playing it again last night. It gets a lot of play. It's probably one of the most.
It does get a lot of play.
Most played games.
There's all sorts of cool expansion packs for it.
It's a great game. This is the game that's kind of like it. I want to compare it to chess because it's on a grid. It's an abstract game, and you got these wooden pieces that after you move them, you flip them over. And the weird thing about them is each side shows you the movement patterns of the pieces, and when you flip them over, the movement pattern changes. So you've got pieces, and they all do different kinds of things. Some slide like rooks, some jump like knights, some go diagonally like bishops, some go diagonally forward and straight backwards. Some of them hop over when they move, and they when they flip them over, they do different things, and it's just a lot of fun. It's abstract, but there's just enough theme in there to make it interesting. And I do like the expansions. I got the Three Musketeers, and I got Robin Hood, and it does add a little variety and actually sort of feels like the theme, which is sort of neat. Craig, have you ever played the Duke, or did you not?
I have not. I'm interested, and I would like to, but I have not ever played it.
All right. And
I think Craig would like it.
I think you might. All right. So then I was playing tons and tons of more Descent and Dungeon Command, and and then April comes along and Kemet comes out.
Oh yeah, you were playing the crap out of that for a while.
Kemet got a lot of play, and I would play that again. Craig, do you still remember and enjoy Kemet?
I do remember, and I would. I enjoyed it. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a bit, but I do like it a lot, and I know it also made the rounds to other video and board game podcasts, and almost universally everybody liked it. It's a really good game, and the components are fantastic. It's also a nice fast-playing game, or reasonably fast-playing game, too. So and it's easy to teach. So I really like Kemet a lot. That's a good one. And I would happily play that again.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that a lot.
Yep. Let's see, what else? Other new stuff. So Kemet's in there. And then it had been around a while, but I finally discovered Sentinels of the Multiverse. So, Craig, did you ever play Sentinels with me?
Yes,
you did. Yes,
I did a couple times, and I enjoyed it.
That game gets a lot of play in our group. I know, like Joel and other people always have it with them in their bag. It's actually ironically, it's my favorite comic book game, and it's not licensed on any IP that you would know. It's all made up its own, but it so quintessentially captures the theme of how I think a comic book game should play, i.e. it's a team of heroes fighting a villain. It's one of the games that actually makes a lot of sense as a co-op. And I really like it. I like how it works. I like the variety in the heroes. It just feels different every time. It can feel easy or hard depending on the makeup of the heroes you make and how you play the villain. I just really like it. I like all the bling too. You got the giant card options. You got the different token things now. They've redid the game with better components, and I just really like it a lot.
Yeah.
Does that play like the Marvel Legends one?
Well, I don't know that I played Legends. So in this one, there's one supervillain, and there's a bunch of different supervillains in the game. So you pick one to fight, and the supervillain's controlled by the mechanics of the game. And then each player controls one hero, which is basically their own hero deck of cards. It gives them their own abilities. And each turn, you just go around, and each hero gets an activation and does something to try to hurt the villain. And then the villain goes and does something that generally hurts everybody, and then you go back around again. That's pretty much it. So I don't know if is that how Marvel works?
No. No. I'm not an expert. I've only played the Marvel one. I don't think I could run the game. I've always played it with Matt Alex, and he just runs it.
All right. Fair enough. So, yeah, I still like that one, though. That's a good one. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Now we're getting into April. Actually, no, we're in May now. Sorry.
May, yeah.
So let's see, May. Princes of the Dragon Throne I played once. That was an early prototype of a Kickstarter game. It was interesting.
What was that?
Princes of the Dragon Throne. Did you guys get to play that one?
No.
It was a prototype. It was pretty neat. It was neat. It had dragon meeples, which is always kind of cool. Then let's see. I played Castle, the detective card game.
Because, oh my god!
Well, okay. So here's the story behind this.
You are in love with Nathan Fillion.
Well, that's true, but I've never made it. No, it is. I have a man crush on Nathan Fillion. Not gonna lie, but actually, my mother-in-law is a huge Castle fan, and so I figured, and she was coming over for something, and Nicole's like, "Is there a game you think she'd like to play with us?" And I saw this was out. I was like, I'll get it for her. And it's funny. Nicole and I played it before she got there.
Here it comes, Craig. And it's actually not a bad game, Craig.
We didn't like it at all. Nicole and I hated it. But we're like, well, your mom's coming over. Let's just play it with her. Played it with her mom. Nicole and I still didn't like it. Mechanics are god-awful silly. Her mom loved it. She loved it.
It's because she's in love with it.
She thought it was great. Because it was very light and luck-based. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of thinky or anything going on, and it didn't really feel like a deductive reasoning game. So she just really liked it. So you never really know with these games. I guess you don't really know. So anyway, I can't really recommend to any gamer, but if you know someone who likes Castle, maybe it's a good stocking stuffer, I guess. Let's see. What else do we play about this time here? Oh, this is about the time. So now we're in June, and this is where Rafe and I got back into War Machine and Hordes. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
We were like playing every week, sometimes twice, right?
I miss that.
We got to do that again. That was fun. So we did that quite a bit, and we're still playing War Machine and Hordes, right? That game, whenever that gets, I get in these streaks, right, Rafe, where we break it out. Yeah. We start playing again. We get all into it, and it's funny.
I got all new tricks up my sleeve for you. I haven't been able to do it.
It's really funny.
And you guys got me into it again, and I bought a whole army.
Well, this is
classic. I can't wait to play that army.
This is classic miniature wargaming, right? So we're into it. We're playing like crazy. I finished my battle engine. I got my Colossal. Built my Colossal. I got so excited. The new faction came out, Crisis of Convergence, right? So I ran out, and I got a whole army of the ladies, got them all painted up, went to Gen Con with super exclusives, got all those, and I have not played them since. So need to get it back to the table. But then what happens, you get back from Gen Con, all the board games, and you forget about miniature games for a while. That's going to happen to me. But I want to get back into that again. I definitely want to play that. And we got to get Craig's army to the table, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But good news is Craig's into it again. So that's always exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Not into it at the moment. I'm willing and open and have the army fully painted and ready to go.
He's into Firestorm.
Yes.
I am right now. Absolutely. Good. You better believe it.
So then in June also, BioShock Infinite came out. The Siege of Columbia, which I think Craig played once and was not enthralled with.
I did not enjoy myself.
I liked it a lot. I haven't been able to get anybody to play the table with me with it, so I got to bring it. But I should bring it back to the store more. I think I could get people to play it with me. I think everybody liked it, but there was we were worried you could game the game a little bit, so I got to try it again. But I like the components.
I blame that game on me reading the god awful novel. So
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Then, and again, months of War Machine.
I'd like to say I try it, Russ, but I can't according to my new rules for myself.
Yes, I need to have those new rules.
My new game diet.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
I decided that I can't be part of the cult of the new anymore. So I created a game list for myself that I'm only going to play those games on the games list for the next year.
Wow.
And I get only 2 free buys or free, what do you call them? Free days.
Yeah.
So if I go to Gen Con and there's the be-all hotness of whatever, I can play that. But I only get 2 for the whole year.
So, hey, Craig.
Nothing quite like just imposing random generic rules on yourself.
It's like a juice cleanse, only with games.
I think
arbitrary and a year long.
I think I just got an idea for a prediction.
There you go. Just laid that one up for you.
All right. All right. So now we're getting to August. So basically we lose most of July because, and most of June because Rafe and I are playing nothing but War Machine pretty much. Boom, boom, boom the whole time. So War Machine's still going strong.
Yeah.
2 months worth of War Machine pretty much, nothing but War Machine.
Yep.
Then August comes. Now 2 things happen in August. One is Gen Con, so we'll get that in a second. But right before Gen Con, a glorious Kickstarter box appeared in my door, chock full of Crossmaster Arena. Now, this game is so great.
Never seen this game at the store. Not once.
So I
Never
played,
seen it nor heard of it.
Right.
I saw it at Gen Con, but
yes.
that was it.
So this game, I kickstarted it, mostly played with my kids. I played it with my kids right before I went to Gen Con. They fell in love with it. Went to Gen Con, came back. Can you play more Crossmaster Arena? Play more Crossmasters Arena. Play with them on and off. Then Extra Life came. Now, Extra Life came, and one of the things we were going to do at Extra Life was Christian said, I'm going to go to Myriad for the afternoon. And I decided on Extra Life to play with my kids all day. So I'm like, I'll go to Myriad also, Christian, and bring some games for us to play. And my girl said, we got to bring Crossmasters. So we went to Myriad Games. We played a bunch of different games. We were going to be there from 2 to 10 o'clock with our kids. 2 in the afternoon to 10. So we're playing games. At about 3 o'clock, the girls said, let's bring out Crossmasters Arena. Brought out Crossmasters. We played Christian and his 2 boys against myself and my 2 girls. These kids would not stop playing that game. We played that game from 3 in the afternoon till 10 o'clock at night, and we only stopped because we made them go home to go to bed. Mm-hmm. It is great, and it never gets old because of the way the game mechanics work. It's like a really high-end, really well-thought-out miniature game with simple rules and fantastic components. I mean, these are models that are they're not pre-painted. They're like that Tokidoki type thing where they're different colored parts because they're actually the plastic's physically different colors. So but they're really vibrant colors. They're like anime looking, really cool rules. This game, Christian came to me later and said it is the number 1 thing on my kids' Christmas list. It is just a really, really great game. And I've already backed the new Kickstarter, which is the new winter edition that's coming out next year. So I'm already in on that. So very, very pleased with Crossmaster Arena. I know you guys haven't seen it or played it. I should get it to the store just so you can play it once it's grown-ups to kind of understand what it's about. Yeah, I think gamers would like it too, but you really got to be the kind of guy who's going to like that theme and look because it's a very anime, chibi kind of thing going on. So if that's not your deal, you're not going to like it. But I highly recommend it. Let's see. Oh, and then Gen Con comes out, right, Craig? So this is just chock full of stuff. First of all, Space Cadets Dice Tool.
Yep.
We just talked about Space Cadets was basically replaced by Space Cadets Dice Tool for us, which we have played.
Yep.
I don't know, Craig, you just played it recently, right?
I have played it at least 6 times. Yeah.
And Rafe, have you played Dice Tool yet or no?
Nope. I want to try it.
All right. Well,
it is so intense.
It is so good. And then also, and these are the games most played at Gen Con also, then Dungeon Roll, right? So Craig and I also got Dungeon Roll at Gen Con. And I have played almost countless Dungeon Roll games. I would at least 20. At least. Maybe more. And Craig, you mentioned already it's your most played game, right, this year, or one of them.
Yeah.
So Dungeon Roll, also huge, also still going strong. What else came? Oh, and Firefly.
Oh, you guys are playing the crap out of that.
What's the status of Firefly, Craig?
That's a great game. I haven't played it, but only because I haven't played any games in the last 3 months. And no, that's not true. I played it at Christian's house.
You played it at Christian's.
The one game day I got in the last 3 months, I played that.
Yep, and I played
and Dungeon Roll and Dice Duel.
Yep, and I've seen it at the
and
store.
Waterdeep.
Yep,
you didn't mention Waterdeep.
I didn't mention. We know it's not a new game this year, so I didn't mention it. I've been skipping games we played. Well, I didn't mention
because that was a huge game this year.
Yeah, that game's awesome.
Waterdeep was out last year.
With the D&D-ples and everything. You sure?
No, that was last year. Yeah, it was 2012.
Really?
The new thing, the expansion came out this year.
Yeah.
Yep. Then was also High Command, right?
Yep.
Now, I think I'm the only one that I know who actually actively asks people to play High Command.
Yep.
I like
I'm not a fan of it.
I own both sets. It's always in my trunk as a quick filler game, and I bring it out, and everybody's like, Josh likes it. I can't get people to play it. I guess it's because the mechanics aren't fun enough for non-War Machine fans, and War Machine fans are like, if we're going to play a game, let's play War Machine. So
That's how I feel.
I can't really sell it very easily. I like it. I like the fluff. I like how it works. I like the art. I like a lot about it, but I think I'm the only guy on the planet, or one of the few, I guess. I don't know. So, and then also, of course, Craig, Level 7 Omega Protocol.
Yep.
That was
That's
huge.
been a lot of fun.
That's been a lot of fun.
That game's fun.
It's only slowed down because I think of the holidays and the flexibility of schedule, but that is a great game. And I think everybody's watched it play has been like, I got to get that game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that game's fun.
So that's great stuff. Let's see, what other new stuff have we picked up since then around there? Oh, we did play some Lords of Waterdeep with the expansion in September. That's when this expansion hit the shelves, so we started playing that. So there you go, Craig. And that's for the new. Have you played with the expansion yet, Craig?
I have once, but I was able to ignore pretty much all of the expansion elements and focus on the core game to come in 3rd out of 5.
There you go.
Or 6, actually, yeah. So, yay for the middle.
And Raef, have you played the Waterdeep expansion yet?
No, but on purpose. Yeah. This is part of my cult of the new thing. I felt like I hadn't played enough Lords of Waterdeep regular.
Yeah.
That I've been purposely saving the expansion so that when I'm like, okay, I've had enough plays of Lords of Waterdeep, I'm ready to do the expansion.
All right. I thought you were allowed to do expansions in your.
No, I am,
but
but I meant the reason why I'm doing the cult of the new is not to just flagellate. What's that word, Craig? When you whip yourself in the back?
Flagellate.
Yeah, not to do that to myself, but to get better at the games that I already own. So I own Lords of Waterdeep, and I want to play that through when I'm really bored, and then I'll go, fun, add the expansion.
Let's see. So then we're in October now. Someone showed me. I played a couple games of Suburbia. Have you guys played?
I'm not a fan of that game.
Yeah, Suburbia was fun, but not thrilling.
Yeah, there you go.
It didn't. It was kind of like Archipelago for me. I was like, there's some cool stuff here, but I'm not sure what gets me coming back. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really.
Yes.
It didn't hook me in. I don't know.
That was one of those games where everybody's like, Rafe, you'll love that game. I'm like, not so much.
Well, here's the thing about Euro games. If you don't have a really strong theme, like Firefly's pick up and deliver, right? So it's just another pick up and deliver game, but it's Firefly, so I'm okay with it because it's a theme. Yeah. If you're farming, I'm not sure why I need a different flavor of farming. You know what I mean? Like, why don't I just play my favorite farming game? Unless there's some really cool hook in there that's unique or different.
Yeah.
So then let's see. Then I did try Time and Space, which is the new game from Stronghold Games. Now, this game had some interesting, innovative ideas in it where it's a trading spaceship game. But here's the thing. Everybody activates in real time simultaneously with these little sand timers. So if you want to load your spaceship, you put your sand timer on your spaceship and you wait until the sand timer goes to 0. And as soon as it does, you put cargo on your ship. And then if you want to travel, you put a sand timer on the warp gate and wait till. And so you have like 3 sand timers. You move them around, and it's all real time. It's interesting. I kind of liked it. It's very light, but it was kind of neat, and I'd like to play it again a little bit, give it a little more time. It was pretty cool. But I haven't played it since October. But now we're getting down to the point where it's tricky because October's only 2 months ago, so we're kind of in the almost current zone, right?
Yep.
Let's see. I got Jetpack Unicorn. Have you guys seen this game?
No.
From Weird Miniatures.
Either listening to you talk about it.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it on the show before. So now we're getting so close. This is November now, so we're pretty much right up to where we are. So, so Jetpack Unicorn's kind of neat. It's kind of like one of those party games where you describe and who would win in a fight kind of thing. It's like which is cooler, having magnetic hands or magnetic face kind of thing.
Okay.
And then, so you got to pick one side, and Rafe might say, "Well, magnetic face is cooler because I can just stick my pen right to my forehead and not lose it," kind of thing.
I would like that.
And magnetic hands are bad because you can't throw anything out of your hands. I mean, so magnetic hands are cool, that kind of thing. And they have cards that you get bonus points for using. It's kind of cute. It's neat. And that's pretty
Craig.
much here.
Yeah.
We're in Dunk still. We're drinking some coffee.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Would I like FSA?
I have no idea.
So So near the end, Firestorm Armada's back. So yeah. So what are you thinking, Rafe? Why? Now here's my question for you, Rafe. You have said several times every time we try to get you to play a naval combat game, doesn't matter if it's space or surface or some other flavor, you have always said, I find them boring.
Half correct. I like Uncharted Seas a lot. Did you say space naval combat game?
Any naval combat game I've tried to get
No,
you
I
into.
like naval combat. What I don't like is the space naval combat because it doesn't seem like they can handle the third dimension to my satisfaction.
There are games that do it, though. We've seen them now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking you.
This one is not it.
No.
Firestorm Armada is not in the shallowest, most perfunctory nods towards three-dimensional space. That's what you get there.
Yeah.
The other thing I remember with FSA, the first version, was you put your ships on a table, and it just felt like you go pew 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 pew, and then the game's over. Like it didn't seem to be maneuver or.
There's definitely maneuver.
Our ships went all over the place.
There's definitely maneuver
last night.
For sure. There's definitely maneuver because the missions they've got. Well, first of all, they've got more interesting deployment zone options. They've got more interesting missions which force maneuver.
You got longer range weapons.
They've also added in, because I don't think crossing the T was in there before, right? Shooting them in the stern.
I don't think so.
So stern shots. So you basically you could do more damage to your opponent by shooting them in the stern.
And it's a brutal mechanic to do it with,
is.
too.
There's now
My
things
interest
like
was piqued, Craig, when you were talking about the difference of the boarding actions and how it's not just quote. I didn't know the game well enough to know, but I was like, "Ooh, that sounds interesting. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Ooh, that."
Yeah.
You were like, "Yeah," and then they changed this, and Jeremy was like, "Yeah," and then this, and I'm like, "All that sounded really interesting."
Yeah, they
I like how
really,
fighters work,
really,
too.
really made 3 key changes to the game that made it 1,000 times better, I think.
Yeah, me too. So I do think it's very solid. So I would highly recommend.
And I just dropped $100 on a lot more models, but then again, we just heard what happened with me and
I was
Infinite.
gonna say, but then again, that's what Craig do.
yeah.
All right,
you
sorry. Was that November? No, that was December. Meaning FSA was played in December, right?
yeah,
Oh, we just played it yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
So we're all
jumped ahead
we're
to
to the end. That's where we are. So which is cool about talking about Firestorm Armada is that's an old game that's come back for us. So
Yes.
by redoing the rules, and this is why I don't really sell my models very often because now I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, oh, cool. Look at my fleet.
all my models that are painted that I'm really proud of and I liked are back in action. And so they're ready to go and having fun. So it was great. And I was able to break them out again, and they look just great on the table. And we got some of the new models. Spartan sent us some of the new models to check out. And I don't like the new Prime Aquins as much as the old ones, but they don't look so different that it can't fly alongside them. So I could clearly, if I want to get a new ship now, I can add it in without looking too wackily different. So.
I've always liked Spartan games. I like what they stood for. I like what the owners.
Yeah.
How and why they started the company. I like the owners.
Yeah, no, Neil's awesome. I mean, the whole thing is great. And I think it's really, I'm also very excited with how they have been working with their rules lately and really refining them. And the Firestorm Armada book feels really good. It's easy to learn, easy to read, easy to understand. Everything's organized really, really well. The index is actually quite good. You can find what you're looking for with just the index. And it's easy to use, and the rules are much cleaner and more streamlined. I went from being very nervous about how the fighters and bombers work to actually loving them now after the last game we played.
Yeah.
Really like how they work. It feels like you're actually launching and recovering, and you need more time to get more fighters in space. Oh, I lost 2 of the wings now. It's going to be a big problem. It's just really, really nice. I love it. I love the new models. Loving the new rules. It's
What's
solid.
the big tanking type of force? Or big, heavy, lumbering tanks.
Maybe Dendrenzi?
Was that the one you just played, Craig?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the factions well enough to know who the tanks would be.
Yeah.
If you get to
I don't think there's anyone who's like, you can't hurt me. The thing is, because it's got the damage rating, critical rating system, like my guys have ridiculous critical ratings, so it's extremely hard to crit them, but they don't have very good damage rating, so it's relatively easy to chip away at them.
right.
Okay.
And that's what was happening last night.
Yeah. So what you want to look for is what's kind of cool right now is all the fleet lists are free PDFs on their website.
Yeah.
So if you know enough of the rules, and we can talk you through the basics of some things like the damage value and the critical values, you could look through them and see who would be the ones that are sort of lumbering. But basically, the movement stat should be low if you want to be lumbering, and their DR and CR should be high, and also having high shields would be good too. That make them very hard to kill. Yep. So I would look for that kind of stuff, and then see what you got. And
I'll
also
borrow one of Craig's test armies.
Yeah,
one of these
I'd
days.
take a look at. Yeah, I'd play a demo. All of us have at least 2 fleets now.
Yep.
And Jeremy's pumped to get back into it because he's always been in love with the game. We just all stopped playing.
He's always liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like a kid in a candy shop watching us play again. He's like, "Oh, I want to play." So it's good. It's back. Firestorm's back, baby.
Yep. Absolutely. And then there's Wild West Exodus.
Yes. We just played a couple games of that too. Yeah. I like it. It's very fast. It's very fun.
Very bloody.
It's super bloody. It's designed for a higher model count. You got to be careful with your dudes. They just die horribly.
Billy the Kid killed 2 guys in one shot.
Yeah, and then Jesse killed Billy in 1 volley or 2 volleys.
Well, 2 volleys.
1 turn, 1 activation. But yeah, it was awesome. It was great, and that happens both ways. And it's just really fun and bloody, and you just got to be prepared to lose dudes.
Yeah, and the models look great.
Yeah, the models are awesome. So good year. So basically, miniature gaming. We went from pure board gaming, then in the beginning, and then Rafe and I got totally back into War Machine, and then went back into board game mode, and now we're into miniatures again with Firestorm and WWX. So good times. Good time to be a gamer.
Times.
Yeah.
It is indeed. A lot of stuff got played.
Good times to be a gamer.
Well, Rafe, it was great to see you here in Dunks, and we can't wait to be on the main show. We're going to be on in a week or so on the main show to talk about predictions.
Yay, predictions!
Yes, how we did this year and what we're going to think is going to happen next year.
Can't wait.
Thanks for purchasing a D6G Lost Chapter. Supporting the show helps it grow.
You just died in Rafe's arms tonight.
I'm just like day 4 tonight. It must have been something I ate. I'm just like day 4 tonight.
Cutting
I'm
crew.
Rip out the smell. What?
Oh my god.